So about 6 months ago, I had over 100 biomarkers tested. I had to pee in a cup and I had several different vials of blood taken from my forearm. My jaw dropped when I got my results. I just turned 39 and my biological age is 22. If you're new here, my name is Erin, founder of EatMoveRest, which is where you have landed today. If you've been around here for a while, then you know a bit about my backstory, but I'm gonna start fresh, clean slate, and share with you exactly what I do, what I have done for the past decade to get to where I'm at today, 17 years younger on my biological clock. So I feel super good in my body, in my mind. I have energy, I sleep great. Let's dive into it because look, you guys, I'm gonna be 40 this year. I am a mama of 3 kiddos, and what I have been doing has apparently, thank the Lord, been working. What I don't do: calorie counting, carnivore diet, 75 hard. There are no extremes here. These are the basics. In fact, most of what heals us is totally free. Sunlight, fresh air, earth, breath, these things don't cost a thing. Now, I know that there are so many caveats. There are so many factors that can play into states of dis-ease, and sometimes you just get dealt a not so great hand. So my heart goes out to anyone who is in that position. You know, there are genetics that play a factor, but the overwhelming majority of our health is dictated by our lifestyle choices and habits. The small, tiny decisions we have to make on an almost minute by minute basis. And that can get very fatiguing and overwhelming and tiring if you don't have a plan in action. If you're looking for a healthy, happy game plan, check out the Happy Healthy Plant-Based Cookbook below. My husband Dusty and I poured our heart and souls into this entire work of art, beautiful recipes, and on top of that, we have a coaching program now called Thrive in 90, where we help take you one-on-one, step-by-step from a state of possible dis-ease, or even if you're just struggling with weight, want to lose inches off your waist. If you want to get your diet and movement and mindfulness dialed in, we are here to help you one-on-one. This is a results-driven program. There are so many other resources in the description for you guys, so be sure to check them out. But today, I just want to get really fine-tuned with you and tell you exactly how I've gotten to where I'm at, because I feel like there are a lot of nuggets of wisdom that even if you've been here for a while, might still really help move the needle for you. If you guys like videos like this, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, join the EatMoveRest fam, join the EatMoveRest club if you want to dive deeper and grab our brand new app that we are so proud of, and leave me some love in the comments below. Let's dive right into the details. So first and foremost, you're probably asking yourself, what does that even mean? How did she come up with this number of age 22, 17 years younger? So about 6 months ago, I had over 100 biomarkers tested, well beyond what you would typically get at your doctor's annual physical exam. It wasn't my favorite, but it was well worth the experience. And this is not even sponsored. In fact, I'm not even gonna mention the name unless you really want to know. Then you can ask me over on Instagram DMs at Erin Stanzik and I can share that with you. My jaw dropped when I got my results. First, I just want to explain what biological age means, because we all know we have our chronological age. There's no going backwards in time with that, but our biological age is very different. In fact, you can erase numbers off of your biological age just by making healthier choices every single day. This takes into account cellular function, measures of inflammation, biomarkers put to the test against others your age, your gender. Scientists measure things like how well your cells repair themselves, how long your telomeres are. Those are like the protective caps on your DNA, and how much inflammation or oxidative stress is happening in your body. I would argue that biological age is far more important than what year you were born. So 2 different people who are 39 years old could have totally separate biological ages based on their blood work results, which is usually directly correlated with their lifestyle habits. Genetics does play a small role though too. Even more reason if you are genetically predisposed to something like breast cancer, prostate cancer, heart disease, it's even more important to focus on how you can move the needle with your lifestyle habits. I am a busy mom of 3. I do not live a stress-free lifestyle either. I run a business of my own from home where I'm also homeschooling in between cooking healthy meals, working out, trying to get 8 hours of sleep. I think that stress is a massive component, but we just need to learn the right ways to manage, cope, and adapt to that stress so that stress is more acute and we can compartmentalize. We can do repairs to the damage done right away rather than living in a chronic low-grade state of stress, which causes inflammation on the body. And things like the foods we eat can cause chronic low-grade stress if they are taxing for the body to digest. Exercise. You can over-exercise. You can also under-exercise, and those both can cause inflammation. For example, sitting is now considered the new smoking, unfortunately. And rest. If you are underslept, it's going to cause an overwhelming amount of stress on your body. So we're gonna look at my 5 core longevity pillars: diet, nutrition. Eat is number 1. Eat a plant predominant or plant forward diet, if not entirely plant-based, which is what my husband Dusty and I have done for the past 10 years and had 3 successful plant-based pregnancies, beautiful, thriving plant-based children. It's not for everyone. You don't have to go 100% of the way, but eating a fiber-rich diet is so powerful when it comes to combating inflammation. And on top of that, the way that we typically format our day-to-day meals doesn't change a whole lot. So we like to say, have a smoothie in the morning, have a salad for lunch, and have a soup for dinner, and make them nutrient dense. We're not about deprivation or restriction or counting calories meticulously. These are hyper nourishing, hearty, filling, protein rich. Again, you can check out the recipes in our app, in our cookbook. Consistency is far more important than perfection. Is the way that you're eating sustainable long term? Crash diets and extremes have never been part of the way we've lived our lives. We don't do extreme fasts. We don't do extreme cleanses. We don't do detoxes. We're all about feasting rather than fasting. This is one of the most beautiful things about a whole food plant-based diet is that you can actually eat a high volume of foods because they're so much lower in calories, but they're also fiber rich, which helps your gut and supports your microbiome, which supports your mood, which lowers your stress, and they're also water dense. Water plus fiber equals dialed in digestion. Number 2, lift and move daily. Do what moves you first and foremost. Like I said, sitting is the new smoking. I like to say every 20 minutes, remember the 3 W's: walk, water, and window. It's also important to actually get your heart rate elevated, sweat a little bit, and stimulate your muscles. So I am a huge fan of workouts at home, which is why I recently launched our YouTube channel, Move with Erin, where you can find at-home resistance training workouts and so many other great ones. Strength training with weights is going to be super beneficial for your metabolism because when you're building muscle, you're actually burning fat simultaneously. You're training your body to be able to adapt, to become resilient, and to recover more efficiently so that when you're in that state next time, you're a little bit stronger. You're able to go further longer. This all equates to better longevity and a lower biological age. Besides clocking in at the gym and sweating your booty off for a whole hour, totally optional. What's more important, like I said, is doing what moves you and simply moving your body. Long walks, playing with the kids, taking your dog for a jog, dancing in the living room at the end of the night like we love to do. These are all huge components to staying super biologically young. Personally, I like to work out for about 45 minutes to an hour, 6 days a week with 1 dedicated rest day. I also make sure to really work on my mobility and flexibility as well as breathing properly. Your mouth is for eating, your nose is for breathing. If you go check out the Move with Erin channel, the first video we did is going bonkers. It's taking off because it's a lymphatic and fascia flow that is so beneficial. If you even just want to reduce some of that puffiness and grogginess that you're feeling, implement those exercises every single day for 7 days and report back to me. Main takeaways from pillar number 2, lift and move daily. It does not have to be a chore. It doesn't have to drain you or deplete you. In fact, it should not. Focus on doing what actually moves you and what you actually enjoy. Number 3, prioritize sleep and your nervous system. So when we talk about all things eat, move, rest, we always think about rest being sleep. Yes, it's super important to go to bed at a certain hour and or get 8 hours of sleep. And I am by no means the type of girl that goes to bed at 8 p.m. and has to say no to going out to dinner from time to time or watching a late night movie with some friends. I am game for any of that. What I think is more important than the hour you go to sleep is how many hours of sleep you're able to get. We typically go to bed around 11, 11:30. As long as I'm getting those 8 hours, that's what I always focus on because I feel my best. And that number can vary from person to person. It can also vary based on your activity level and your diet. So if you're eating a super clean diet, you will find that you're sleeping more soundly. So getting your nutrition and your movement dialed in is going to help you get deeper, better, more restful sleep. And sometimes that means needing a little bit less of it. I would also recommend trying your best to set healthy boundaries around screen time. I'm a nighttime showerer, so that kind of signals to my body to slow down a little bit. And after that nighttime shower, I immediately put on my blue blocker glasses. So if I do need to go sit at my computer, which I definitely try not to do, or I need to look at my phone, or we're gonna watch a movie, that blue light isn't going to affect my system quite as extremely as it would otherwise. I know there's a lot of morning routine talk on the internet, but I think almost more important is a good solid evening routine, because all of the simple habits and practices that you implement on a routine basis signal to your body that it's time to wind down and prepare for rest. For me, it's dry brush, evening shower, red light therapy, the blue blockers go on. I dim down my phone as low as possible because I'm human and I'm inevitably going to look at it. And then right before bed, I like to do my gratitude, my prayers, maybe I'll read my devotional before I actually go to sleep. The reason our channel is named Eat, Move, Rest and not Eat, Move, Sleep is because there is a lot more that plays into this pillar than just 8 hours of sleep at night. Rest is truly the rest. It's everything that eat and move are not. And it's the most neglected and overlooked. And if you really want to dial back your biological clock, you need to be focused on limiting the amount of stress in your life. As a reminder, I'm a busy mom of 3 with a puppy peeing all over the place. Right after something stressful happens, I do something to unravel and unwind that stress. So usually that means I need to go step away and take a quiet minute or 2 here in my room, or that means I just do 1 minute of deep breathing, and that helps so much. I actually visualize the tangled up knot that I've gotten myself into and unraveling and unwinding my body and my mind, and it truly helps. So try to offset those acute stressful moments so that you don't wind up in a chronic low-grade state of stress, because those are the things that are going to shorten your telomeres. Those are the things that are going to damage your cells. Those are the things that are going to age you at a cellular level. Box breathing is my favorite one to do during the day, where you inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, hold it for 4, and you keep visualizing that box as you're doing this practice. And it really helps to refocus your mind away from any anxiety or panic or stress. And then at bedtime, I like to do 3, 7, 8. I'll inhale for 3 counts, hold it for 7, and then exhale nice and long for 8. And then keeping that loop going really helps a lot as well. In fact, I've never not fallen asleep from this breathing practice. Dancing obviously blends into movement, which I mentioned earlier, but putting on some good music and just free flowing and moving your body, dancing like nobody's watching. Maybe nobody is watching. Perfect. This is the best time to release. You need movement in your life, and it needs to be free flowing. So I'm a huge fan of dance as well as laughter. If you know me personally, you know my favorite movies are comedies. When Dusty and I got together, he would always tell me, all you ever want to watch is comedies. And I think it's because I knew that I was living such a stressed out lifestyle that what I really needed was laughter, and it truly is the best medicine. Another golden nugget is to do a brain dump before bed. So I make a list of things that I need to remember to do or want to do for the next day, a little bit of a schedule schedule or a loose agenda because kids, it's not set in stone, but it helps me to not be ruminating and stick on things so I can do my prayer and gratitude, my breathing, and fall asleep naturally. Habit number 5, there are 3 core things that stand out to me that belong in this category. Number 1 is sunlight, getting adequate sunlight no matter what time of year it is, even if you have to bundle up. Number 2 is community and that connection, interconnectedness. Dusty and I felt like we were in a phase of our life when we started this channel where we did not have very much community. We created online community, but we also found out kind of the hard way that in-person community is even more important. We started hosting retreats. We started connecting with people in our local community, with our farmers markets, having plant-based dinners at our house, doing dinner date nights with our friends. It's so, so important. I think the third part of this pillar is maybe the most important. It's doing what gets you out of bed in the morning, finding your purpose. What is your passion? What gets you out of bed in the morning? For me, that is 1,000,000% here at EatMoveRest. And of course, my kiddos. Over a decade ago, before we started our channel, before we started our brand, I felt so lost, and it was such a huge reason why I had so much stress. It was just a tangled up mess, which is when EatMoveRest was born, because I really had to get back to the basics and simplify. And when I found my path, and I was able to take my passion and make it my purpose and my mission, everything changed. And then having kids, I was like, wow, this is next level purpose. So whatever it is for you, find your purpose and make it a part of your day. So that's it, you guys. Those are my 5 pillars. Those are the things that I do on a daily basis. And again, none of this is rocket science. Everybody's equation looks a little bit different, and I don't feel like I've arrived by any stretch of the imagination. Like I said, I do live a little bit of a stressful lifestyle, but that's all the more reason I find to make Eat, Move, Rest what my day-to-day is focused on. Doing the basics better until they become second nature. You develop momentum and you no longer have to think or question or wonder or figure. It's just right in front of you. The path is clear and you're able to devote more time to the other things in life, like your passion, your family, laughter, play, dance, fun, all of the things that truly help to reverse the years of our biological clock. So I think that's the biggest thing, is having these habits set in stone without having to force them, without having to feel restricted or deprived, feeling abundant, having food freedom. All of these things help to minimize the amount of stress to help your body to thrive at a cellular level. So again, if you feel like this is what you've been searching for, but just haven't quite been able to get yourself there, we all need accountability. I've had mentors, I've had coaches, I've had therapists, I've had counselors. Last year was my biggest year for seeking help from others, paying people to coach me, to counsel me. It truly shifted my mindset. It boosted my confidence. It took my business light years from where it used to be, and it just helped me to feel more grounded, calm, and balanced. So if you guys feel like you need some hand holding, below is the link for our Thrive in 90 coaching program. You get one-on-one time on a weekly basis for 90 days with Dusty and I. That's 12 weeks. There is so much goodness packed into this. We are getting our clients epic results. So if you're interested, click below in the description. All right, you guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, join the Eat, Move, Rest fam. Check out all of the resources we've got waiting for you down in the description. Please go subscribe to Move with Erin and do what moves you with me. And let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a follow-up video on exactly how I eat, which is a big factor in my biological age. Last but not least, Eat, Move, Rest your best. Bye, guys.